Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 429 of our trek, and today is Motivation Monday. Every Monday, we hike the trails of life that will encourage and motivate you to live the rich and satisfying life this week. Today, we'll explore the fear of success. We are broadcasting from our studio at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. If all goes according to plan, when this episode originally airs, we will be back in Charlotte for a couple weeks. Paula's quilting retreat went well, and they all had a great time. Paula and her friends were able to accomplish a good bit on their projects. We all have our areas of strengths and weaknesses, and the detailed work of quilting and cross-stitching that Paula does so well would not be an area where I would excel. I do enjoy helping to pick out the materials, though, as I seem to have an eye for coordinating colors and patterns, and then Paula makes them look great. It is the same for each of us. We all have areas of strength where we should focus the majority of our time to maximize our efforts and to bring the most impact into the world as we create our living legacy each day. As I have had 6 decades so far to observe and help others, one phenomenon that I've noticed of those who have a limited impact on others is that they have an excessive amount of fears in their life. Many would assume that the lack of impact is a result of the fear of failure. But think about it this way. Inactivity, procrastination, and perfectionism automatically produces failure. So if a person truly fears failure, then it would encourage them to be motivated. In most cases, that is not the case. The more that I observe, the more evident it is that most people are stymied in life because of a fear of success. Success requires action, being uncomfortable, and taking personal responsibility for the outcome. These are traits that many people choose not to possess. As we break camp and head out on today's trek, let me ask you this question that may spur you to be motivated. What will happen if you succeed? Sometimes you find yourself with a goal you want to achieve, but you just don't take the appropriate action to reach it. You aren't really afraid of failure or rejection because doing nothing will allow you to succeed at failure. The path to the goal seems clear enough, and it might even be an interesting challenge, and occasionally you do make some progress. When you think about moving forward, though, you can't seem to motivate yourself, and you're just not sure why. This often happens with long-term goals that require intermittent actions, like losing weight or transitioning to start a new business and eventually quitting your current job. One question I have found helpful to ask in this situation is, what will happen if you succeed? Forget about what you hope will happen or what you fear might happen, but realistically consider what probably will happen. So you achieve your goal. Then what? What else will change? What additional responsibilities will you have? How much of a greater impact will you have on others? I'm not talking about giving a 5-second cursory answer like, if I lose weight, then I'll be thin. Set aside 15 to 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with no internet, TV, radio, or other distractions, and just to ponder about how your life will really change once you achieve a particular goal. There are often unexpected side effects that you may not be aware of consciously, but subconsciously they can be enough to prevent you from taking any real action. As an example, if you lose a lot of weight, here are some of the possible side effects. People will notice and will comment about it. Other people may ask you for diet advice. You may feel that you need to continue a permanent lifestyle change in order to maintain this new weight. You may need to buy new clothes. You may become more attractive to others and thereby attract more social encounters, whether they're wanted or unwanted. Overweight friends might become jealous. Your family may resist your changes. You may feel stressed about whether you can keep the weight off. You may worry about the loss of certain favorite foods from your diet, and the list could go on and on. It's rare that a goal is all roses. Success requires change, and all change has both positive and negative consequences. Often while people claim that they want to succeed at something, the reality is that the perceived negatives outweigh the positives for them. One way to overcome this problem is to consciously think about what those negatives are, and then uproot them one by one, just as if you were weeding your flower or vegetable garden. Uprooting the negative side effects could mean figuring out how to eliminate it completely, or it could mean just accepting it and learning to live with it. It certainly is helpful to focus on the positive side of the goal, but don't forget to take an occasional survey of the dark side and accept that you're going to have to deal with that too. Just as inactivity and failure have consequences, so does success. Unlike the fear of failure and the fear of rejection, the fear of success can be far more insidious because it's almost always unconscious. But it's not the fear of success itself that is the problem, but rather the fear of the side effects of success, many of which may genuinely be unwanted. Failure and success both require sacrifices, but you may not be consciously aware of them. Fears that are never evaluated consciously have a tendency to grow stronger. The reason is simple behavioral conditioning. When you avoid something you fear, either consciously or subconsciously, you automatically reinforce that avoidance behavior. So when you, even unknowingly, avoid working on your goal because of a hidden fear of success, you actually reinforce a habit of procrastination. So as time goes by, it becomes harder and harder to get yourself to take action. This is a very devious and many times unconscious deception. Asking, "What will happen if I succeed?" can solve this problem because it focuses your conscious attention to those fears. Fear has a tendency to shrink under direct examination, making it easier for you to take action. When I say that fear shrinks, another way of stating it is that your subconscious behavioral conditioning weakens under constant scrutiny. I know some people dislike the word fear with respect to their own behavior. Realize, though, anytime you consciously or unconsciously choose not to take action or act in such a way that is avoiding success, it is because of fear. When you confront fear for what it is, an additional benefit is that you can also devise intelligent workarounds for those fears that are made conscious, some of which may indeed be valid signals of unsolved problems. Going back to the weight loss example, if you do lose a lot of weight, you probably will need new clothes. If you don't have the money to buy new clothes, that may be a real problem that you'll need to address. You may see yourself needing to wear an oversized outfit, which may be necessary for a period of time. Left unacknowledged, even a simple problem like this can be enough to subconsciously sabotage you from achieving your goal. Once you examine the situation consciously and figure out a way to deal with it in advance, you're sending a message to your subconscious that you needn't fear this problem because you have a practical way to solve it. There are always ways to work around these excuses that may manifest themselves. In this example, you may need to purchase secondhand clothes for a while until you have adequate money to buy new. Now let's consider it from a different perspective. Suppose you ask, "What will happen if I succeed?" Upon considering all the side effects, you realize that you don't actually want to achieve that goal at all. The negatives outweigh the positives. At this point, you can dismiss it and alleviate the associated guilt and pressure. I encounter this at times when I look at the various options to expand our business offerings. When I ask this magic question, I realize that the sacrifices to family time or health would not be congruent with my overall life purpose and goals. There are certain business ventures, while they may bring monetary success, are not worth the sacrifices that would have to be made. After analyzing all issues, I realize that it wouldn't be the success that I truly want and is most important in my life. This at times is a difficult realization for me. When everything is taken into consideration, I recognize that my trail of success, which I had plotted out, was now taking me up the wrong mountain. When I reach these reflection points, I have to understand the likely consequences of hiking that trail on my life's trek. I may have to choose an alternative trail that keeps me on my path to my summit. Even now, as I plan future trails for our business and life, I attempt to factor in all the possible rabbit trails and obstacles that we may face. I simply have to realize that I don't have the bandwidth during this season of life for certain endeavors and still be true to my life purpose. One of the most difficult decisions for me of letting go of the goals and dreams I have for certain aspects of our business. If they are worth pursuing, they may need to be set aside for a more appropriate season. There are so many creative ideas and potential opportunities that are available in today's connected environment. I have to realize, though, that God has called me to brighten my portion of the world with the light that I currently have and to do it well. I've grown to learn that we all go through certain cycles and seasons of life, and sometimes we have to wait until it is planting season once again before we move forward with certain endeavors. Many people do not succeed because of their fear of success, which is masked by a fear of failure. Are you willing to push past those fears and ask that magic question? What will happen if I succeed? If I lose weight, get a date, earn a promotion, start the business, get pregnant, quit smoking, become a millionaire, or stretch myself? With an open analysis of your life, you can move forward motivated to succeed without fear of success or failure. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to his apprentice Timothy in chapter 1, verse 7, God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. Today on our trek, I ask you this question: what would happen if you succeed? What is your answer? Please let me know by posting a comment on today's journal page or emailing me at guthrie@wisdom-trek.com. Tomorrow's short trek will be part of our Wisdom Unplugged series that we are now hiking on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These 2 to 3 minute wisdom supplements will assist you in becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise throughout your entire week. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your friends and family through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.